Golden privilege or golden power? Why Jungkook's vinyl sold out first, and why America's media thinks it means something bigger. Did the vinyl really sell out because of Jungkook, or because someone wanted it to? And when American media whispered the phrase golden privilege, were they praising his star power, or quietly planting a dangerous narrative that could change how fans see BTS forever? When pre-orders for BTS's new album Erarang opened on January 16th, 2026 at 11:00 KST through Weverse, the excitement was immediate, global, and explosive. Fans from Seoul to Sao Paulo refreshed their screens at the same second, fingers hovering over the buy button like athletes waiting for a starting gun. But something happened that no one could ignore. The colored vinyl edition assigned to Jungkook disappeared first. Not hours later, not even minutes. It vanished in what felt like a blink. Within moments, screenshots flooded social media. Jungkook version sold out. Golden Magne strikes again. I refreshed and it was gone. Then came the headlines from American pop culture outlets and music blogs. Some called it proof of Jungkook's unmatched star power. Others used a more loaded phrase, golden privilege. And that is where the story stopped being just about vinyl, because what sounds like praise can also sound like accusation. What looks like success can quietly become a wedge. And what begins as celebration can slowly turn into something that divides. So the real question is not simply why Jungkook's vinyl sold out first. The real question is this: who benefits from turning that fact into a narrative? And what does it mean for BTS as a group that has always insisted they rise and fall together? BTS returned as 7 after nearly 4 years apart, following the completion of their mandatory military service. Their comeback album, Erarang, is scheduled for release on March 20th, 2026 at 13:00 KST, and it is already being described as one of the most emotionally loaded projects of their career. The album contains 14 tracks that, according to multiple outlets, reflect honest stories to ARMY and signal a new direction for the group. The title itself comes from the traditional Korean folk song, Erarang, a song that carries layers of longing, separation, hope, anger, joy, sadness, and reunion, emotions that mirror BTS's own journey. During a live broadcast on Weverse on January 16, 2026, all 7 members, Jin, Suga, J-Hope, RM, Jimin, V, and Jungkook, sat together to talk about the album. RM explained that the idea of using Erarang came from reflecting on their roots as Koreans and on what they felt during military service, missing society, missing ARMY, and missing each other. Suga recalled performing Erarang at KCON Paris 10 years earlier and how it now feels like our Erarang. Jungkook revealed that he designed the album logo, a stylized symbol of Erarang, sketching the first version while they were in the United States before the company refined it. The album isn't just music. It's memory. It's separation and return. It's loss and reunion. And in that context, the vinyl editions, each in a different color representing each member, were designed to feel equal. 7 colors, 7 members. One storied, when one color sold out first, it was never going to be a neutral event. American media quickly framed the story in a familiar way. Jungkook as the golden magne, the unstoppable center of gravity in BTS's global appeal. Some outlets suggested that this proved what many already believe, that Jungkook has crossed a line from being one of 7 to being something closer to a solo powerhouse who just happens to be in a group. The phrase golden privilege began to circulate in commentary sections and opinion pieces. On the surface, it sounded flattering. Golden means special. Privilege means advantage. But privilege also implies unfairness. It suggests that the system favors one person over others, whether intentionally or not. And that is exactly what made some fans uneasy, because BTS's identity has always been built on balance, even when individual popularity is uneven. Everyone knows that in any group, some members attract more attention in certain markets. But BTS has always rejected the idea that one member stands above the group. Their speeches, lyrics, interviews, and even internal dynamics have consistently pushed the idea of 7 equals moving forward together. When American media framed Jungkook's vinyl sellout as evidence of golden privilege, some ARMY felt that it wasn't just about numbers anymore. It was about narrative control. Was this really about celebrating Jungkook? Or was it about simplifying BTS into a story that Western media understands better? The story of one star rising above the rest. Supporters of the star power argument point to hard facts. Jungkook is one of the most searched K-pop artists globally. His solo projects have broken streaming records. His collaborations charted high in Western markets. His image is widely used in global brand campaigns. So when his vinyl sold out first, they argue, it's not mysterious. It's math. It's popularity. From that angle, there is nothing controversial. Jungkook is extremely popular. His fans are fast, organized, and willing to buy. If his version sold out first, that simply means more people clicked faster. But critics of the golden privilege framing say the danger lies not in acknowledging popularity, but in what is implied beyond it. Because once the media starts talking about privilege, it subtly suggests that Jungkook's success might come at the expense of the others, or that the system is built to favor him, and that is where the emotional temperature of the fandom began to rise. Some fans asked uncomfortable questions. Were all vinyl versions produced in equal quantities? Was there any difference in promotion? Did Weverse algorithm highlight certain versions more than others? Was Jungkook's image used more prominently on banners or previews? There is no public evidence that the company favored one version over the others. According to official information, the vinyls were simply different in color and associated with each member. But in the age of distrust toward big entertainment systems, perception often matters more than proof, and American media, whether intentionally or not, added fuel to that perception, because Jungkook's vinyl sold out first is a fact. But golden privilege is an interpretation, and interpretations shape emotions. Some fans defended Jungkook fiercely. They argued that blaming him for his popularity is unfair. He didn't choose to be more searched. He didn't choose whose fans clicked faster. Reducing his success to privilege ignores his years of work, his talent, his sacrifices, and the emotional bond he built with fans around the world. They also reminded everyone that Jungkook has never acted like someone who wants to stand above the group. He constantly refers to himself as part of BTS first. He credits the members for shaping him. He often downplays his own achievements and redirects praise to the team. Why should he be punished for being loved? But others worried about long-term consequences. They weren't angry at Jungkook. They were angry at the narrative being built around him. Because once the media starts pushing the idea that one member has privilege, it becomes easier to pit fans against each other. It becomes easier to say, he gets more because he is favored, instead of, he gets more because people choose him. And that shift from choice to favoritism is dangerous. It changes how fans see the group. It changes how outsiders see BTS. And slowly, it can rewrite the story of 7 boys who survived together into the story of one golden star surrounded by 6 supporting characters. And that is a story many ARMY refuse to accept. The timing of this controversy also matters. Arirang is not just another album. It is BTS's first full group comeback since 2022. It follows military service, separation, uncertainty, and global waiting. It is emotionally heavy for both the members and the fans. They are also preparing for a massive world tour, BTS World Tour Arirang, starting in April 2026 in South Korea and running through March 2027, with 79 shows across 34 regions in Asia, North America, South America, Australia, and Europe. This tour is being described as a symbol of reunion, of love, of long-awaited togetherness. In that context, narratives that highlight division feel especially cruel. Imagine working for years, serving your country, missing your fans, missing each other, and finally returning with an album named after a song that symbolizes longing and reunion, only to see headlines suggesting internal imbalance. For some fans, the golden privilege phrase felt like someone throwing cold water on a warm reunion, and yet the media rarely thinks in terms of emotional responsibility. They think in terms of clicks. A headline that says all BTS members' vinyls sell well is not exciting. A headline that says Jungkook's vinyl sells out first. Is he becoming bigger than BTS? Clicks are driven by tension. And nothing creates tension faster than the idea of inequality. That is why this story refuses to die. Because it is not really about vinyl. IT is about what people want BTS to become. Do they want BTS to remain 7 voices telling one story? Or do they want to reshape BTS into a familiar Western narrative? One breakout star surrounded by a group that slowly fades into the background. History shows that Western media often struggles with groups that refuse hierarchy. They like leaders. They like faces. They like the main one. They did it with boy bands before. They did it with girl groups. They do it with K-pop now. But BTS has always resisted that structure. They have different roles, different strengths, different fan bases, but they present themselves as a unit. Even when members pursue solo projects, they constantly reaffirm that BTS is not a temporary stage, but their core identity. When Jungkook's vinyl sold out first, BTS themselves did not celebrate it as a victory of 1/6. They did not issue statements highlighting his achievements separately. They did not frame it as proof of hierarchy. The noise came from outside. And that is why some fans say the real problem is not Jungkook's popularity, but how others use it, because popularity can be a gift. But it can also be turned into a weapon. A weapon used to divide fandoms, a weapon used to create rivalries that don't need to exist, a weapon used to rewrite a group's story into something easier to sell. Where does that leave Jungkook? In a painful position. He cannot control how fast his fans buy vinyl. He cannot control how journalists write headlines. He cannot control how narratives spread. But he will live with the consequences of those narratives. If people start seeing him as privileged, some will resent him. If people start seeing him as above the group, some will accuse him of overshadowing others. And even if he does nothing wrong, he may still carry the emotional weight of being turned into a symbol of imbalance. That is why many fans are now more protective than ever. Not just of Jungkook, but of the idea of BTS itself. They are pushing back against the phrase golden privilege. They are reframing the story as golden choice. Not privilege given, but love chosen. Not system favoritism, but fan action, because there is a big difference between being favored by a company and being loved by people. And until someone proves that the system itself is unfair, many fans will continue to believe that Jungkook's vinyl sold out first for one simple reason. A lot of people wanted it and they clicked faster. Nothing more. Nothing less. But the story will not end there, because as long as BTS remains the biggest group in the world, every small difference will be magnified. Every number will be analyzed. Every order will be compared. Every success will be turned into a question. And the biggest question of all still hangs in the air. Is Jungkook's golden image a celebration of talent and love? Or is it being reshaped into a narrative that could quietly pull BTS apart? The vinyl may be sold out, but the story is far from finished. And as the hours after the sellout turned into days, the conversation only grew louder, sharper, and more emotional. Because once a narrative is born, it does not stay still. It evolves. It spreads. It mutates. And in the case of golden privilege, it began to show its true power. Not as praise, but as pressured on social media, timelines split into emotional camps. One side celebrated Jungkook with pride. They posted old clips of his childhood auditions, his shaky voice at debut, his tears on stage when he thanked the members for raising him. They reminded everyone that golden was not a crown handed to him by a company, but a nickname earned through years of effort, discipline, and self-doubt. To them, the vinyl selling out first was not a political statement. It was a love letter written by millions of fans clicking at the same time. But the other side was not angry at Jungkook. They were angry at what his name was being used to represent. They said, "This is how division starts." They said, "This is how a group story becomes a solo story." They said, "We've seen this before." And history supports their fear. In the past, many global groups slowly fractured under the weight of uneven attention. One member becomes the face. Interviews focus on them. Brands chase them. Headlines write around them, until the public forgets that the group itself was once the reason that face existed. BTS has always fought against that fate. They built their career on shared suffering, shared dreams, shared growth. They cried together on stage. They argued, learned, and healed together. They wrote songs about being seven, about leaning on each other, about surviving because they were not alone. That is why fans reacted so strongly when the media language shifted from popular to privileged. Because privilege suggests power given, not earned. Privilege